Good morning. So I figure it's finally time for a van tour that so many people have been asking for. I just had a look at some of the messages and things while I was getting myself organised. I have to give a very special thank you to Phil Taylor, who gave me a very generous super thanks on one of my videos. Unbelievable. I'm shocked, but thank you very much. Very much appreciated, mate. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Jason. I'm a 54-year-old retired mechanical engineer. This is my 2023 Ford Transit 350L rear-wheel drive 10-speed auto with a high roof option. And as you may notice from the outside, I've also optioned the SVO paint to get the blue colour. I ordered this van in probably 2020. You may know some other significant stuff that happened around 2020, which resulted in the delivery time blowing out to about 2 years. And then eventually got the van in about April 2023. So within the first week of taking it home, I'd cut 2 massive holes in the sides to insert the windows, and then a few more holes in the roof to put some fans in there. And from then on, it was flat out building it. Coinciding with the delivery of the van was the notification that I was being made redundant at Ford, where I used to work in Geelong, down in Victoria. So that kind of put the pressure on me to get the van converted, and my plan was to not go back to work again. Take the redundancy money and run, literally. So from April to August, it was flat out building the van, getting it to the point where it was actually usable enough. I didn't finish it in that time frame. There were quite a few things that still had to be done. The plan was to move out of our house. I was married at the time. The plan was to move out of our house in Victoria and basically hit the roads and just cruise around, living on the streets for a while and see all of Australia. So as always, nothing always goes according to plan, and basically as of December in 2023 I was on my own and living the van life dream totally by myself. My key hobby is mountain biking, and I'm also into bushwalking and just exploring nature basically. I really love walking around mountains, waterfalls. Don't mind beaches. I'm not a mad swimmer, but I like beaches as well. So that's basically what makes up my day. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I put out probably 2 videos a week, just vlogging my entire life really. So if you find that interesting, join along and come along with me on some of these trips, because I go to some incredible places, and a lot of them are in spots where you wouldn't even think about it. So let's start the tour with a walk around the outside and look at all the exterior connections and things. This is the passenger side. You'll see there's no connections there. That's the rear. You'll see there's no connections there. And that's the driver's side. Also no connections there. Only thing I do have is some roof racks, a couple of spotlights on each side, and a bunch of solar panels on the roof. So it's 100% off-grid. I don't have any external connections at all on this one. It's not how I use it. I don't go into caravan parks. I don't stay anywhere for a long time, so I'm off the grid all the time. So before we get to the inside, there is one important thing I need to do. Let's go for a bike ride. So a quick look into my garage area here. I've got space for 2 bikes, so there's 2 racks there that you saw how they sit in there. Basically front wheel comes off on their end, turn the handlebar sideways. I've got my levelling ramps up there. There's a 4G router up there for my onboard Wi-Fi. On the wall there I've got my electrical fuse box and safety switch, and the 240 volt inverter. It's a 2000, 4000 watt unit. And down below the bike rack, this is where I keep all my helmets and gear and stuff. And I've also got, there's a helmet. Also got an inflatable kayak in there as well, and the space that runs down underneath the cupboard there as well. I actually had space there for an extra battery, but don't need it. First I've got to do this. I'll get back to the van tour in a couple of hours. Righto, time for a quick look around. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. No, only kidding. So let's go back outside and start from here. Shoe rack. It wasn't actually my idea, it was actually my ex-wife's idea. Pretty good idea too, actually. So probably the most obvious feature of mine is the fact that I've got a front lounge on the van. This converts into the bed as well, so it's cross sleeping. About 1.75 metres clearance from head to toe. A little bit tight for most people. I'm about 173 tall, so I've got a little bit of clearance, but hey, it's close enough. A whole stack of reasons why I don't like this are mainly for just day use space. You know, I don't like a permanent bed because you miss out on all this usable space that you've got. And really, I've only got it's only a 6 metre van, so it's quite small, and I need to have double use of space as much as possible. Also, we've got a whole stack of storage under here. This is where I keep my water hoses and a few outdoors bits and pieces. On top of that, this storage space actually stretches through into the underseat storage at the front here as well. So generally I keep a few tools and things down here, but that goes all the way through. And if the subwoofer wasn't there, it would actually be quite a large space between those two spaces. So I'm just waiting for my lunch to cook. I've just got some dumplings on the cooker there. I use an induction cooker. It's actually just a portable 240 volt induction cooker. I don't have any gas in the van at all, so it's all electric inside. The only thing that doesn't use electricity is my diesel space heater. So I do have a diesel heater which has an outlet down the bottom there, and you'll see the little controller up on the wall over there, just above the power point. And that runs off diesel, actually sucks directly from the vehicle's fuel tank. 3 doors in my kitchen cupboard there. They're 400mm each, so I've got a 1200mm bench top there, which is it's a pretty good amount of space really. 2 shelves inside, and my induction cooker sort of slips down the side there, stands up on its end. I need to make a proper little couple of dividers in there to hold it in place, because at the moment it just sort of floats around a little. Got my sandwich press, a few glasses that I use regularly each day, and then down the bottom I keep my plates and a few knives and forks and things that I use, my regular spoons and things. I find this just easy to keep them in plastic containers because they're just more contained basically when you're driving, and then when I need something I just pull it out and get them out. And I'm too tight to put drawers in. Drawers are too heavy really to actually make wooden drawers. Yes, that would be ideal, but they had a lot of weight, and a lot of the game here was saving weight. Assorted spices and things and chilies and whatever else, and then more assorted sauces and spices and things. I usually cook sort of Asian style food, so I've got a whole stack of Asian type condiments and things. My end cupboard's just a whole stack more food in there, so I keep my wheat bix there. I've got rice, biscuits, tin of Milo. That one's practically empty. This one's not very full either. That's basically where I just keep my my fruit and chocolate. So something that's probably worth pointing out and is not all that obvious, I've mentioned it once before in one of my videos, but my aisleway down the centre of the van is not straight, right? It's not in line with the centre line of the van. It's actually on a 10-degree angle. The reason why I did that was one was to give me access to the back better. So you can imagine if this kitchen bench went 600mm straight across, my door would be like 200mm smaller because it ducks down to 400mm on this side. So that gave me a nice access into my bathroom space at the back there. And also I wanted to have the fridge on this side, and again, to improve the access flow, tapering down this cupboard to 400mm here just makes it a lot easier when you're walking in. So very hard thing to show. But if I come way back here, you can sort of see even the lounge is cut on an angle there. So as you come in, you've got a nice wide access aisleway, and very easy to walk all the way through, down the back, into the bathroom, and, well, turn around and go back because, unless you open the back door, that's what you've got to do. So, basically this was all calculated out. This is sort of as narrow as that could be with the fridge sitting at this point here. It's pretty close to the side of the van on this side of the fridge, and then of course it flares out and you've got more space on that side, so that's pretty much calculated perfectly to fit there. And then also I needed sort of 600mm width to fit my 2 bikes in the back there, so this point here is 600 to the side of the van, and then that flares out at the back as well, which makes it a whole lot easier to get the bikes in and out. So while it was a bit fiddly putting it all on an angle, and I must say it was a pain in the arse, I actually, given that it's 10 degrees, that actually turned out by fluke. I didn't calculate it to be 10 degrees. What I calculated was the actual dimensions. I needed 600mm at that end, 400mm at that end, and it just luckily worked out to be 10 degrees, which was real easy when it came to cutting the timbers on my drop saw. But anyway, there you go. So on the opposite side of the kitchen, I've got all this stuff over here. So basically I've got 2 big doors. It's 500mm wide and 800mm high each. And then I've got my my residential fridge. It's a 240 volt residential fridge. It's actually a 120 litre bar fridge, but it does have a 2-door arrangement with a separate freezer on there, and it's really bloody good. And then you've got the standard fridge type thing down there. I did have to add on these little child safety latches, which I actually had to order on AliExpress because I couldn't find anything suitable that would automatically latch in Australia or on eBay or anything like that. So they were really good and they worked perfectly. I did grind out a little finger hole there. You can see a bit of a semicircle groove just to make it real easy just to pop that open like that. And then next to the fridge I've got the 2 wardrobe cupboards. Yes, it is now magically dark. Future Jason here. The footage was pretty average on that earlier take, so I'm redoing it. So my top cupboard here, I've kind of spread myself out here, right? This is set up for 2 people, so in theory what you'd have is one person would have all their stuff in the top there, and the other person, i.e. me, has all their stuff in the bottom cupboard down there. But hey, since it's just me, I might as well take up all available space. So really just a couple of towels there. I'll throw my jackets in there. I've got t-shirts in there. I don't know what's in there, shorts, jumpers. And then I'll keep my socks and undies in a little box like that, which is quite useful. It keeps them all under control. And then the very bottom shelf has a laundry bag. There is a little access hatch here that goes down into the battery, and that's basically for removing the battery. You need to get in there and take the terminals off before you undo the brackets, and then it slides out through the back of the van. Put a scary mirror on the back of the door. Anyway, it had to be a little bit low so that when I close it, it fits between the shelves. I kind of neglected my dumplings. I should have waited till after lunch before starting doing the video. They'll still be good. They're actually good when they're a bit crunchy on the bottom. I haven't installed a dining table yet, actually, where I've got the camera right there. So there's a bit of a gap in the end of the cupboard. There's supposed to be a fold-out table there. It's one of those things that one day I'll get around to when I finally finish everything off. Just wash up this mess and then we'll get back to the rest of the van stuff. So my wastewater on this, I don't have a grey water tank. It does just sort of drop out underneath, so I'm always conscious of where I park when I'm letting water out underneath, particularly for showers and things. Make sure I'm in a spot where it will get absorbed into the ground, or not going to run into any pools or water courses, and certainly not in places where people are going to end up walking through it. Similarly, before I start to wash up my dishes and things, I wipe out any grease or leftover food with a bit of paper towel and just chuck that in the bin, just to make sure that what's coming out underneath is not really all that bad, hopefully. The amount of water I use is actually quite minimal. As I said, I don't fill the sink. All I do is just soak my sponge, a drop of soap on there, and then the rest of the water for cleaning other things is just what I pour into the things underneath by rinsing out my utensils. So this sink was just bought from Bunnings. It was like $55 or something, super cheap. A little bit thin on the gauge of stainless steel, but I didn't buy it because it was cheap. I bought it because it was most suited to what I wanted. And it's a good size. It's good that you can get you know, a big pan in there and not make too much of a mess everywhere. You know, it's nice and deep as well, so as you're splashing about trying to clean things, it doesn't go all over the place much. So more storage, overhead cupboards. I guess I'll start at the front. I've got my recently completed overhead bin here. I haven't put the gas strut on here that holds the door up yet, so it's a bit of a pain in the butt. And I haven't insulated, like it's 1,000 degrees in there right now. It's a bloody oven. I need to put the insulation on that final bit of sheet metal there because it gets so damn hot up here. Don't put anything there that will melt. Basically just keep my laundry basket, a few backpacks and miscellaneous bits and pieces in there. This cupboard's pretty much empty. I've just got a tripod and a few bike parts that I need to fit onto my bike. Yeah, miscellaneous crap as well. I don't even need that stuff. Anyway, yeah, just as you can see, I've got more storage than I actually need. That's all my bike clothes, so I do use that one. And the final one up the back here is basically all my toiletries and supplies. So keep my tissues and toilet paper, and I put my toiletries into like a basket. So anytime I need to, or anytime I'm doing stuff, I just pull my basket out and I've got my toothbrush and my razor and my deodorant and whatever else I use. So there you go, very exciting. Also got, like, I don't know, store my soap up there, I've got my hair trimmer. Cupboards are pretty deep actually, they're like 400ml deep, so do get quite a bit of stuff in there, toilet paper down the back, and etc, etc. And then I got my 3 little baskets that hang underneath the overhead cupboards, including the USB charging ports. So these actually work really good and really useful. The baskets aren't on hinges, they basically can come right out, so I can slide that all the way out, and it makes it nice and easy to access whatever's in there. But sometimes they're a little bit sticky sliding them back in, but usually if you push them in straight they're fine. They're just held in with big magnetic catches down the back there, which works well. Since I upgraded those magnetic catches to the biggest ones, they haven't fallen out once, so that's been pretty good. And then we've got the bathroom down the back as well, so I like having this right at the back because it you know, basically gives me this access to the back door, and it's kind of like a walkway as well. So quite often, particularly in summer when I'm going to the beach and stuff, I'll come in through the back door here, and then I'm on a shower base where I've got access to the shower nozzle and everything. I hose my feet off, get all the sand off me, and then walk back into the rest of the van. I've got one of these roll-away shower screens. This is possibly my biggest regret. I got a translucent one, not a white one. So it's a real pain in the butt, because if I want to go to the toilet, I've got to go and shut all the blinds down the front of the van. Whereas had I got a white one, I could just pull that across, job done, no worries. But anyway, so I just got a little towel rail there that I've attached to the wall as well. Obviously when I'm having a shower, I sort of fold that up and stick it up on top, and then it doesn't get wet. My back doors are covered with polycarbonate. It's actually just velcroed on at the moment. It's not very good, but they stay there and it's usable, so it's one of those things that I'll get around to tightening that up at some point. There's a little hole down there, that's where the latch is to open the back door, so I sort of stick my hand in and pop the latch up, and then you can get out from the inside there. So I just got a residential shower nozzle on a adjustable rail there. Added bonus here is that when the door's open, you can slide that up, point it out the back door. I've never actually done that, but quite often what I do is, as I said, I come in through the back door and I'll just whip that off and then hose my legs out while I'm sitting on the back step down there. I did have a small pull-out washing line in here, just a single string unit, but since I put these 4 hooks in here, I haven't really used it. And typically what I do, I just use these for hanging my sweaty clothes on after I come back from a bike ride, just to let the sweat dry out before I put them into my my washing basket. Mix the tap down the bottom, of course it's hot and cold water, and then the good old Thetford porta potty down the bottom there. The base of the shower is it's custom made fiberglass base that I made, so I basically put plywood sheets down there, cut it to grade it into shape, and then coated it all with fiberglass, and put gel coat over the top of it as well. It's not a perfectly smooth finish, it is a little bit rough, but that's okay because my plan was always to put a duck board on top anyway, so so there you go. And these are just a couple of sort of wooden bath mats from Bunnings. They had some extra large ones, and I was able to cut those up quite nicely and modify them to get them into that shape. Again, you can see they're we're not talking square here, we've got that whole 10-degree thing going on. A couple of little hooks on the side here for my hand towel, and for my tea towel, and my garbage bag. And yes, if the tea towel falls off and hits the garbage bag, it's a write-off and needs to go in the wash. But anyway, it never happens. They actually hang on there very well. Surprisingly, I thought they would have been all over the shop. And my garbage, look, I don't have a garbage bin. Garbage bin's a bit of a difficult thing to try and package somewhere. I guess, you know, you put it in a cupboard and you lose some cupboard space. So I've just gone with the bag hanging off the hook type option, and then every day I empty that out. You kind of got to empty it every day anyway, because most of the public bins have you know, small openings on them. So it's quite often a struggle for me to squeeze in a day's worth of rubbish through the public bins. So my electrical system. 240 volts. Obviously you've seen me cooking on 240 volts. Got the induction cooker which just plugs into the power point, just pull it out when I need it. Generally when I cook I sort of do the 5 days worth of meals in one go, so I only pull that out, you know, a couple of times a week. I do have the microwave, which, you know, obviously when I'm cooking 5 meals a day, I need to reheat those, so this thing is invaluable. It runs off batteries, so you know, as I said, I don't do any hookups at all, right? So this runs completely off the battery. It was a little bit of a drama. This is my second microwave. Now, battery-wise, I've got a 300 amp hour Volta X battery, and it will deliver sort of 200 amps continuous. You need a battery that can deliver big juice for microwaves. This pulls 150 odd amps out of the 12 volt battery. When I say I had dramas, and this is my second microwave, my first one was a conventional microwave. This is actually an inverter microwave. Now inverter microwaves are a lot more efficient than conventional ones, and this uses probably about 300 watts less to deliver the same 1000 watts cooking power. So when it says it's a 1000 watt microwave, my old one sucked about 1650, 1700 watts. Actually, I think this one's even better. I think it's more like 11 to 1200 watts when it's running, that it's pulling out of the battery. So 1000 watt microwave does not consume 1000 watts. It consumes a lot more than that. But if you're going to do it, you need to have an inverter microwave. I've got a 2000 watt inverter, so it's a 2000 watt with a 4000 watt peak. Now it will run that no problems, but pretty much only that when it's running. So I've got some electronics in there hidden behind, which detects when the current jumps up on the microwave and actually switches off the fridge. If the fridge is running, it will stay running no problems, but if the fridge is off and decides to switch on when the microwave is running, then the whole system crashes, because a 240 volt fridge actually uses a lot of juice as well when it starts up. So again, I tried I think a 600/1200 watt peak inverter to run the fridge. Not a chance, it wouldn't even start it up. So not this particular fridge, but in my previous van. So again, I then just jumped up to the 2000 watt inverter. I'm sure there's something in the middle there that might actually do the job, maybe a 1200 watt inverter that has a peak of, 2400 watts or something, don't know. But I've gone the 2000 watt one because it covers everything I need then. There is an inverter on-off button there, and then the separate switches here for the microwave and the fridge, so I can just switch off. By regulation, you have to have these as well in vans. They have to have switches to switch those appliances off. A little bit funny, but anyway. So yeah, normally I leave the microwave turned off. I actually have it functioning so that it automatically turns off if I leave it on for more than an hour. And it actually sucks quite a bit of power when it's off. It's a quarter of an amp that it runs when it's asleep and not being used, so that's why I always switch that one off. Plus the light's really bright at night and I can't sleep. I really don't have stacks of PowerPoints. I've only got that double PowerPoint over there, plus there's another double PowerPoint in this cupboard here. And I put it inside there because I figured, well, if I need to charge some things while I'm driving, I want them contained, so it's just down the bottom there, and if I need to run a lead out, I can just run it out through the door or whatever else. But you know, normally most of my charging is done through USBs, you know, phones and cameras and stuff like that. They're all just charged through the USB plugs, so no real issues for that, other than my little Google Nest there, which I'm going to wire into 12 volts at some point when I get around to it. I've got a couple of switches down here for various lights. There's a little sort of kick panel spotlights down there, which I put in as just like night lights, but they turn out to be super bright. I need to dim them down a little bit. And then I've got a couple of switches here for my under cupboard LEDs, which run all the way across under the overhead cupboards there. And for the rest of the lights, I've got a little switch panel down here. This is actually for the water pumps, so quite often the water pumps will struggle to suck water out of the tanks after been driving, particularly the underfloor tanks, because my pumps are located above floor level and they can get a little bit vapour locked. So sometimes I need to switch that off just to stop the pumps running continuously. Two top switches are internal lights, and basically if I switch that one on, I get the lights onto a dim mode, and then if I switch that over, it jumps them up to full power, which with these new LEDs is like burning holes in the backs of my eyes. So yeah, anyway, I went a little bit overboard with those ones. They're 50/50 LED strips. I probably could have got away with the smaller ones, but anyway, it's what I bought. And then the third switch down here is for the external lights. I've not only got a switch here for them, but I've also got an overhead switch up here, which switches on as well. So that way, I use them mainly for parking, so usually I use this switch here. I just flick it on while I'm backing into somewhere. It gives me plenty of floodlight. Now for ventilation, I've got two of these TRA fans in the top, rather dirty. They're difficult to clean because you can't pull the fly screens off them, which is really annoying, so I've got to get on a ladder and get up from above to clean the bloody things. That is immensely difficult given that the roof's like 3 metres high. Anyway, now, I do have two of them, of course, to give cross ventilation, and you'll see this one's not turning, the back one is, and typically that's how I run them. So I really didn't need two fans. I could have just had an opening hatch here and then just had one fan at the back, and that would have been quite adequate. There's really no point running two fans. It doesn't serve any purpose other than to consume more electricity. And basically this in this mode, like sucking out at the back there and just having that one open, the cool air blows down and lands straight on top of me where I'm sitting here, which, again, context picture, I'm on the bed. So at night, if I'm in summer at night, basically I just open up the vents, run the back fan, and I get this nice stream of cool air blowing down from outside straight on top of me. It works quite well. Both the fans are electric closing. They're like $300 each, or were when I bought them. So they're electric closing. They've got rain sensors on them, so if it does start to rain, they'll shut themselves down, which is quite an important feature. I guess you could go the max fans, which have the hoods on them. A couple of issues with that for me. I've got a solar panel fitted between these two vents, and basically if I had the max fan there, it would poke out over the solar panel, shade it, and then the solar panel wouldn't work. So that was a downside. Second downside is max fans are very expensive. So anyway, I'm a tight ass. Just panning down for context, now if we go down underneath my wardrobe cupboard, this big black thing is my battery, and it's like 500mm long, so it's a big battery, and you'll see some little LEDs over there on my solar controller, and that's a Renogy unit. It's a combined solar and alternator charging type device, so it'll pull power from the car's alternator as well when the engine's running. And then I've got all my fuses and things down there, and a random wire. What's that for? USB. Huh, okay. Obviously there should be a cover panel on that. I just haven't got around to it yet. I'll get there. Low priority. I've been working on the ceiling for the last 3 weeks, so at least that's finished now. Up on top of the cupboard there's my little solar panel circuit breaker. So that just basically isolates the solar panels. And my window coverings are something I've had lots of questions about on my videos. These are basically just a couple of blinds from IKEA. They're only cheap ones, but there wasn't a lot of options for this up-down functionality, so I wanted to be able to lift them up like that so I can get some light in at the top that people can't see in. They do sort of go from both directions, so I can pull them up that way as well. I have never done that, except for now. That's like the first time ever. Basically, I just use them that way. Look, they're okay quality. This one, I don't know if you can see that, but it sort of doesn't close very well. It gets a little bit... It's almost like it's unpleated itself a little, and it gets a little gathered up, but if you just sort of grab it as you push it down, it's okay. The one on the other side's fine, so maybe I've got a defective one on this side. So to close out the cabin, I've got just a roller blind here, and this was a slightly difficult thing to find because I didn't want one that was cord drawn, because the cords just sort of slap about when you're driving, make a hell of a racket. I had that in my last one, it was cord drawn, it was just a real nuisance. So to find one that was spring loaded, there wasn't a lot of choice, hence it's white. But this was just from Spotlight. I think they're actually on run out, so even if I need to replace this, I'm kind of shot. But it's kind of nice because it does a soft open function. You just sort of grab it and then it does its thing nice and slowly. Works perfectly. That was such a find. So what have I missed? I think Probably the only other thing then is the plumbing system. So as I showed you before, under the lounge here, under the bed, looking very dirty. Sorry about that. This is my hot water tank. Inside that, there's 40 ml of polystyrene wrapping around a 84 litre stainless steel water tank. They were just bought online from like Huntsman Off-Road Supplies or something like that. It was a pretty good deal for a stainless tank. We'll just jump outside and I'll show you what I got for the cold water. So locational contact shot again. If we have a look down here, and if I can angle things correctly, you'll see I've got two polyethylene tanks under there, and that's my two cold water tanks. So that is another, they're 54 litres each, that's another 108 litres hidden under there. And if I go back down the front, you can see just in front of the tank is my heat exchanger unit, and that's what gives me my hot water off the vehicle's cooling system. And then how I fill that, basically we come around to the locked back door. There we go. And if we please excuse the rather dirty looking timber there with all the soap scum all over it, and get rid of my rag that soaks up the drips. This is my fill point, so basically I just plug a hose in, as you would expect, because there's a hose fitting there, and then open up the two valves and that fills the two tanks. So I've got one for the cold tank, one for the hot tank, and I just sit here letting that do its thing while it fills. And breathers are, there's a little pipe. Or is it just about here somewhere? I can't get my head down there low enough. So that's the hot water breather just there, and then the cold water breather is down in front of the axle. I've shown me filling up the water quite a few times in my travel videos, so you know, if you're interested in how that happens, go through my whole catalogue of 100 odd videos and I'm sure you'll find one. And I guess that's my last bit of storage I have on here. I have my toilet chemicals just sitting on a little shelf there, rubber gloves, a few bits and pieces, and some wet wipes up there, or you know, disinfectant wipes. Basically, whenever I'm cleaning the toilet or anything, I've got all my stuff that I need sitting on the back here, and I can just sort of disassemble the toilet, go out, empty it, come back in, give it a clean myself, and then job done. And you'll see there as I'm standing out the back, there's the shower head. So if I want to jump up here and stand on the back step and grab that when I come back from the beach, typically what I end up doing is sitting here on the back step and just hosing all the sand off my feet, and then I can climb straight in, job done. Anyway, time to make up the bed now. So I guess this sort of leads me into the final little piece of my van that I haven't actually shown you yet. And that's how the bed works. So I've got this little flip-up section on the end. This is using hinges that are from the headrest of a lounge suite, basically, where you can, you bring up the headrest and it clicks into certain positions. So it does have varying positions that it will stay in, which are all completely useless. And of course, the only way I use it is like that. It then slides across. It drops onto a couple of little guides, or a guide on this side, and there's a rail on the other side inside the underneath the bed there. And this reveals another storage bin. So this is where I keep all my bedding. It's going to be a warm night tonight. Probably don't need the doona, but hey, we'll see how we go. Now this actually runs underneath the kitchen bench and gives you access in there to the two water pumps. I've got the diesel heaters down there as well, and I've got two little pressure reservoirs to, in theory, smooth out the cycling of the water pumps. Doesn't work too well. And then I've also got another little tub down there where I store some of my overflow items, just spare tissues, washing liquid and stuff like that. Finish off the bed, we just grab the back piece, drop that down, and away we go. I always put my mattress protector out first, just to stop my lounge getting all scummy. Now I don't use fitted sheets, I've just got two flat sheets. A couple of reasons. Because I make the bed every day, and okay, this is my my extreme clean side coming out. I want to make sure that I'm not putting my head on the spot where my feet were the night before. So by using a top sheet, you've got the wider little hem on the sheet there, and I always know that that's where my head goes. Second reason to not use a fitted sheet is that you can't get down underneath the mattress. It's basically a flat box. Repeat for top sheet. I think I'll just need a blanket tonight. I'll throw the doona over there just in case it gets cold. You never know. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to get changed now. You're not watching that bit. And we'll call it quits from there, I think. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rather long-winded video on what's in my van and how it all works. Leave me some comments if you've got any questions, and I don't know, I'll see if I can answer them at some point. Not directly, but maybe in a video. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you next time.